This is your one and only Firespark81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Freeform Friday, where we play some random video game. And today's game is called Endzone, A World Apart. It is a post-apocalyptic survival city builder, and I can get down with that. I'm kind of excited to check this one out and play it. So I'm starting fresh. This is my first time booting up the game. I have no idea what we're getting into other than, your usual city builder shenanigans, I'm sure. So we're going to go new game, survival mode. Actually, no, we should probably play the tutorial first. I kind of want to jump in the survival mode and just give it a go, but I think we should play through the tutorial. Plus, that'll give you guys a good idea of how the gameplay goes. So we'll do that. This is an early access game, just in case you didn't notice from the get-go. And apparently, I guess this is report bugs up here.
Just look at this beautiful scenery. It's marvelous, even though it's a bit different from what we had pictured.
Yeah, it looks like we can just report bugs at any time. That's pretty cool. And it's voice acted. That's nice. Let's build a new home.
We prepared ourselves well for this kind of scenario, especially since our inventories in the Endzone ran low. Don't forget that if you need additional information, you can look at our survival guide at any time.
Okay. Something else that I like that they did, I'm going to pause there for 1 second, is that at the beginning of it, when the game first booted up and before it showed the menu, they actually show their early access roadmap, and you can kind of scroll back and forth to see what they've done and what is coming in the future. I thought that was really cool, and I feel like more early access games should do that, just right there in the get-go, so you know 100% the game is not done, there's no questions. I mean, they have this all over early access, important notes, all that stuff, but it was just kind of cool just to see the roadmap right then and there to get hyped about stuff that's coming in the future. Open the survival guide. All right, there's our survival guide. Oh wow, this is a lot of complex shenanigans we got going on here.
Well done. Everything you need to know should be right here. I think the time has come for us to at last build ourselves a new home here. Before we can construct buildings at all, we have to assign the profession builder to several settlers so that they can take care of construction contracts. In general, it's your responsibility to decide which tasks are important and how our settlers are supposed to be distributed to attend to them.
Oh wow, we gotta manage individual people. I knew there was people, but I didn't think we'd be managing or micromanaging that much. Okay, so where do we do that at? Open the professions menu. We have tasks. Oh, it's this one flashing down here. Okay. Okay, so it's the usual, it's gonna assign some people. There we go. Okay, I thought we had to select people.
As soon as construction contracts have been issued, it's time to start focusing on our key and most basic need. The first thing we ought to do is to establish a working water supply. So we'll move on to our first construction contract. Place and build a jetty by a lake in the vicinity of your town center.
Okay, so we grab that, and then, why is it red? Well, that doesn't let me rotate the building. This is middle mouse button, but it's R rotates. Okay, so it was facing the wrong way. We can zoom in and out with the middle mouse button. WAS and D is moving us around. Middle mouse button rotates the whole map. So that looks great to me. Okay, so they should just be doing the thing now. Okay, looks like they're about to go do stuff. This is our bus wreck. I mean, it doesn't look like it was a wreck. It looks more like just a wrecked hodgepodge of a bus. We can speed up the game. That's fantastic. Let's do that. Let's get this underway here so that we can continue on with the tutorial.
The jetty was completed as planned. Now we have a place where we can collect water. There are other possibilities to gather water too, but the jetty is the simplest and most cost-effective method.
Okay.
We can obtain and store water from different sources, like a jetty, rain collector, or well in the cistern. The cistern should always be in close proximity to a water source, so that our water carriers don't have to walk too far.
But then wouldn't you have to walk far to get to the thing to get the cistern? Can we just click this and go oh, that's freaking handy. I like that. Yeah, so if I was to place this here and I do say all the housing and stuff over here, then they're still gonna have to walk all the way over here to get the water, but Maybe not. Maybe it'll just do the thing. Why is there a green line? Can I like line those up? Is that like, where are we going to put this thing? I think right here is a good spot. I just like it there. I'm just, yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So then we can exit out of that and go. This is pretty good for so far for early access. This is, I mean, they have all the stuff all over. I don't really like this where this bug icon is. I feel like that should be, can we just space the pause? Oh, we can, that's nice. I feel like that should be somewhere a little less intrusive. I get that they want like bugs reported and that's cool that they're so adamant about getting them, but those should be, that should be someplace, that's bugging me. Pun intended, I guess. Anyway, let's continue on here. So we did that. We need to assign water carriers. So we'll do that. And then we have, let's do 2 water carriers. That should be enough. And then we just unpause. What's the other thing we got to do? Oh, we got to assign 3. It helps if I actually like read all the way. Okay, let's assign 3. And then we need to produce 100 water. So let's just speed through this. I really like these survival city builder games, city management games. I love me some survival games to begin with, but like when you get a whole group of people that you're in charge of and you have to manage, I really like that. I think that's cool.
We have now installed a working water supply, and water is now transported from the jetty to our cistern. Consider hiring more water carriers if you don't have enough settlers available. You can never have enough water in storage. Now we should focus on food production. It's important to ensure the supply right from the start. A gatherer's cabin, a hunting lodge, or a fishing hut can directly remedy the situation. I suggest starting with a fishing hut, since we're already located near a lake.
I mean, that seems like a good idea. I really like that they did, like, it's little quality of life things like this that really make a game. Like, you have your tutorial here, it's taking you through it, it's things you need to do. You can just click it, takes you right to what you need to build, and then you can just build the thing. Okay, so we need fishing hut. We're just gonna slap that down. Let's get it pretty close. I guess that's as close as we can get to the thing. Okay, there we go. That looks good there. And then we'll just speed through this really quick. And then we need to assign some fishers. So we'll just click that and do 2 of those. And then we need to produce 50 food. And then our rewards are 300. Okay, that works for me. We'll let everybody do the thing. I love how ragged and like just slapped together everything looks. It's really cool.
Good work. We've now taken care of our basic supply via food and water. Make sure that you have enough food and water on hand at all times, especially if you want to upgrade your settlement. A population that grows too fast can quickly unbalance your food and water supply, bringing major difficulties for you if you don't watch out. Crops are another excellent way of getting food because they constantly grow as long as the soil is moist enough. Each seed has different yields and growing times. This means that it could take some time until your field is ready to be harvested, in contrast to your fishing hut, where production can be right away.
Oh, that's so they go in detail with the crops too. That's interesting. I like that aspect as well. Okay, so we're gonna do a field. Oh, we select and draw out where we want the field to be. It's dynamic. That's nice. Okay, so let's do a nice big one, like right there. How big should we go? Should we just max it out 14 by 14? What's the biggest we can go? Oh, we hit something there. It's stopping us. Yeah, let's do a 14 by 14. That's a nice big field. That way we get a harvest. It's going to be a nice big harvest and we're not going to be like messing around. So we're going to do that. And then we have to assign one dude to work the field there. So we will do that. If you listen to what he said there, we have population management too, which I have a hard time with in games like this. I always grow way too fast and then end up collapsing because I can't sustain the amount of growth that I have. It's a problem I have with these style games, but I still enjoy them. So here we go. We're going to do this. Let them clear out all that stuff. Oh, they get resources from that stuff too. I wonder if we just eventually can send people out to like harvest all the junk and stuff around there to gather up more stuff. Seeds from field chosen. We got to select this and then choose what we want to grow. Let's pause the game real quick. Okay, choose our seeds. Okay, can we see what growing time 2.4 seasons is going to get us 980 food. Okay, we haven't found this seed, so we can't plant that one. If we do the cabbage, how do we know which one is the right one to grow, I wonder? We're just going to go with this one. I guess it doesn't matter.
Remember that we need the widest variety of food sources to stay healthy. You should also plan ahead for drought periods that might come when it's not going to rain. Stock up on food and adapt your production to avoid bottlenecks. I'll show you a few more strategies later on. At the beginning, we don't have much scrap, wood, or other resources. We could build a production building, but to obtain resources as fast as possible, it's best that we start gathering right away. Assign a Gather All Resources task. All the settlers who haven't been assigned any profession by you are going to accept these kinds of tasks. In addition, settlers distribute resources within your settlement.
Okay, so we have to place a gather wood, a gather scrap task. So how do we do that? We do that. Oh, okay, so it's under the building and tasks. So we just put a general area. Okay, so what's it called? It's like this. Frostpunk. I had to think of it for a hot second there. Frostpunk is like this, where you just put a general area and then they go do the thing. So that's gather wood, and we're just gonna do gather scrap. There's a lot of scrap here too. Put that right beside of it. I'm assuming that, yeah, that's all scrap, so they can just gather all of that there. And then we could click play, and then we need to wait until they harvest certain amounts before it's going to move forward with the tutorial again. We also have day and night cycles, apparently. That's pretty interesting.
Since we now own plenty of resources, we can start to build a real production building. Then you don't have to always make efforts by hand that collecting is taking place. Production buildings are not only easier to manage, they are also distinctly more effective than simple tasks. Don't place production buildings too far away from your settlement. You'll be able to change their working area at any time later on.
Okay, so now we got to do the production buildings.
The thing for us to do now is to build a forester's lodge to automate our supply of wood and make it more effective at the same time.
Okay, Forester's Lodge, do that, and then, oh wow, that's a big area. Okay, so I guess they're going to replant trees, and we're doing our fields there. I can have them go here and cut down that area so we can have more fields. This seems like a pretty good, oh, that's the wrong key, pretty good spot here for the Forester's Lodge. That covers a nice clump of trees, right? Let's rotate it and slap it right here in the middle. That's a good spot, okay. So we got that done. Let's process that. We need to assign one Forester, so we'll jump over there. We're quickly running out of people. We got 3 people left that don't have a job.
Good job. You might want to change this building's working area later on to tell your workers where they should get their wood from. Ah, and for your information, if you want, you can also tell your Forester's Lodge that they only ought to attend to reforesting an area in order to create a lush, green forest, which generations to come can use.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to do that.
Now we ought to take care of collecting scrap. Scrap is one of the most valuable resources because the quantities present are limited, and we can recover other resources from scrap. Unlike the task we just had, the scrap yard allows larger quantities of existing scrap to be dismantled than with ruins or wrecks.
So it looks like we can do just cut down, and reforest, or just reforest, like they'll just plant trees. That's pretty cool. Okay, so understood. We're going to do the scrap yard now. So we need to build a scrap yard. Looks like it's pretty much the same situation here. So let's, this looks like it covers up, well, we can move the area just like in Frostpunk. I think you can do the same thing in Frostpunk. So I want to extend the farm fields out this way. So we will just put the scrap area or the scrap yard right there. That's fine. It can be close to the field. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, and then we need to assign a single scrap collector. Done, and speed through the game. We're gonna need to get some, we got a bunch of homeless people. We need to get some homes up soon too.
Great. You can change the working area for the scrapyard too. We can recycle scrap into 4 additional resources: cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics. We'll do that shortly, but for now we ought to take care of your settlers' needs first. Our people want a place to sleep and live. Cabins fulfill their need for safety and privacy and increase the confidence of their inhabitants. In other words, building cabins increases their willingness to start families and reproduce, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and see, that's how your population can get out of hand. We don't want a lot of reproduction. A little reproduction is good. Too much reproduction means more mouths to feed, and kids eat a lot of food. Like, I don't know how many people who watch my channel or like Freeform Fridays have kids. I'm sure many of you do. You know what I'm talking about. Kids never stop eating. They just, they get bored, they eat, they just eat, and eat. Okay, so we need to build, they want 8 cabins? Okay, we will build 8 cabins then. I think I'm just gonna do this. We'll just build a row of them. Okay, there we go. Now we just gotta let the thing happen. Wow, they throw those up pretty quick. They really wanted that cabin. They really wanted to get to the reproduction.
Besides cabins, you can also provide sturdy houses and shelters as housing. Sturdy houses withstand sandstorms better and have an increased storage capacity to boot. Children living in houses gradually fill up the house's stockpiles. Settlers do not reproduce in a shelter because they lack privacy.
Okay, so shelters all around.
From our excursion into housing and refocus on scrap. With the help of a recycler or refinery, scrap can be sorted into 4 different resources. A recycler always takes scrap apart, one resource at a time, while a refinery automatically produces all 4 resources. To start off, you should build a recycler and produce cloth.
I mean, wouldn't it just be better to start with the refinery? Okay, well, let's just follow what the tutorial says. So I guess we'll just build this right next here. I wonder what the green lines are for. They're only on certain sides. Is that like, so you have to have pathways to like the fronts or something? I wonder? Not sure. Let's line it up though, because, you know, it looks nice. So we'll do that. And then we also need to build, we need to assign a refiner. So let's do that. Now we'll just speed things up a little bit and get that built. So far everybody's still, they're pretty even tempered, and I want them to be happy though. Like I want this to fill all the way up. Okay, that's done. Now we need to produce cloth. Can we? Okay, we're already producing cloth, so that's fine. We're just gonna leave it where it's at. Look at him work. Look at him go. Fast speed. Yeah. You separate that trash. Separate faster. I'm over here like cracking the whip.
A recycler to produce a different resource at a time. It's important that you focus on the resources you really need, at least in the beginning. Cloth and metal look like good options if you want to equip us with protective clothing and tools. Happy settlers are industrious settlers. That's why we ought to look after our people and protect them against the surroundings and dangers, like radiation. So let's start by transforming our newly recovered cloth into protective clothing. A tailor will be able to help us with that.
Okay, we're gonna make a tailor shop. Where are we gonna put this? We're running out of room here. I need more room. Let's put that right here. This looks like a good spot. We can put it by the water. Like so. Yeah, that looks good.
We categorize environmental radiation into 4 levels: no radiation, low level, medium level, and high level radiation. The radiation changes constantly and is influenced by weather and contaminated rain. Protective clothing helps to protect us against this kind of radiation, but it takes a while before it's produced. And production relies on a steady flow of incoming resources. Try to establish production chains at an early stage and start to stockpile goods so that some are always on hand. The tools we brought along from the Endzone are slowly but surely running out. So now, let's focus on manufacturing new tools. The tools will help us to work effectively. We'll need metal for that, so we'll prepare for production by building another recycler, which we'll commission to recover metal from scrap. After that, we'll need a workshop to enable the manufacturing of brand new tools. Perfect. Besides the fact that educated children work more effectively, we'll also teach them to be more careful with their protective clothing and tools. This, in turn, leads to them staying intact longer, and we conserve valuable resources.
Our rewards are 5 additional settlers.
Now that our population is starting to grow, we ought to again turn our attention to the topic of food production. We are already accumulating fish and tilling our fields. A gatherer's cabin will now enable us to gather mushrooms and berries from the forest nearby.
Okay, so we need to do a gatherer's cabin now, and oh, that's a lot of resources around there. So let's place that. Let's place that right. Where do I want to put this? Right by the school? Oh, we have the. We're gonna have to remove our locations there. All right, let's demolish that. Get in here, rotate the camera, and demolish that. Okay, there we go. And then now we can rotate that around there. Flap that down like so. And then we need to appoint 2 gatherers. Bam, done. Now we just need to wait for that stuff to be produced.
Although we are sufficiently supplied at the moment, our survival depends on diligent planning. If we can lay out a plan for an orchard, then we can start to plant fruit or nut trees that we can harvest after a few seasons.
Okay, so we already have the settlers. We're going to do one more farmer because we have a farmer there. So let's do another farmer. We have plenty of people. And then we need to plant an orchard. Looks like we draw that one out as well. So all the stuff over here has been harvested. Let's do an orchard over here. How big can we do this orchard? 16 by 16 is the max? Okay, let's do 16 by 16. I mean, go big or go home, right? So then we need to choose a seed. And looks like we're planting plums, so do the thing.
The orchard has been laid out, and the trees are already beginning to grow. Similar to crops for farming, trees need some time until they are fully grown. But once they have grown, they can be harvested again and again until they have to be newly planted. Our gatherer's cabin gathers food from the surrounding forests. However, there are any number of other plants there which we can use as well. These plants can be gathered by an herbal hut. The herbs gathered there can be consumed by settlers to replenish their health.
And we got a lot of different food building options. So, okay. We need to build an herbal hut. Well, I mean, this is kind of like a medical one, but there's a lot of different things for these people to do. Let's rotate this around here. No, I don't like that view. That's a little bit better. And let's plant that one up against the other ones like that. Do we have any space there? No, we're planted right up against it. Okay, perfect. So they're going to do that. And then we need an herbalist. Bam, herbalist. All right, let's let it do the thing. Okay, so we're well past our wrap-up time. I'm gonna have to cut a bunch of this video to cut it down to, you know, a reasonable watch time here. I think this gives you a pretty decent understanding of what the game has to offer for the most part. We'll pause for a second. You can take a look here at some of the buildings. So we got our different housing options here, community, you get a pub, campfire, medical facility, cemetery, because of course people are going to die eventually. We got different roads. You can really build up a serious civilization here. Decontamination post, market, technology research to get more stuff, wind turbines, solar collectors, batteries. We got just different decorations, and then we have the tasks options. So pretty cool game overall. I'm definitely going to be playing this some more. I may actually even do a let's play with this once I get a good understanding of like full gameplay. But yeah, it's a really cool game, really liking it. And I highly advise checking it out if you really like these type of survival colony builder games. I definitely enjoy them. I will put a link for it in the description. Remember, it is an early access game, so it's not going to be complete and all that good stuff. And per the usual, if the link goes to the Humble Store, it helps support the channel. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. If you like what you saw, consider hitting that sub button. I want to give a big thank you to my patrons for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my elite crew of Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like the comment, just hit that thumbs up button to show your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.